Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Kyle Wright 425 podcast. I am your host, Kyle Wright, and if you are a first-time visitor, we encourage you to hit that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell, and for him to behave himself when I'm doing a plug to get us more hearies and viewies, if that would be all right with you.
Yeah, but see now you have to be on the YouTube channel to see what the fuck just happened.
So yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, you have no idea what just happened. But If you're watching on YouTube, where you can subscribe and hit that notification bell and be updated on every upload, then you'll know.
Yeah. So now you podcasters strictly on Spotify have to come see what happened.
I mean, technically they don't have to, but But if the burning passion within them is just wanting to know what they're missing visually, because a lot of good stuff happens. In fact, we were told this past week that we're very animated, as if that was something that we did not already know. But it's a good thing.
We're well aware.
It's a good package. You get to see the visual aspect. It's wonderful. You got YouTube, you got Spotify, you got every way that you can get a hold of us and or watch us, and all those aspects. We read all the comments, and we sometimes reply, or sometimes we don't. Now,
I've not yet replied to one person.
I appreciate that very much. So it's been kind of toxic lately. It's been a little angry and just, yeah.
You know what?
It's just, it's like, I mean, 2020 sucks already, or it's like, don't make it worse,
Yeah, don't encourage it. Don't poke the bear, dude. Okay, just don't poke him.
No, I don't believe in poking the bear. I believe in throwing a bee's nest at him, laughing and running. So that's what.
Man, that's even worse.
Real quick before we get jumping into the world of squids here.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast yet. So if we have, I apologize. But you know about the cocaine bear, right? Like the cocaine bear. It was the bear that ate like a ridiculous amount of cocaine.
That's right. And
then for 15 minutes before its heart gave out, it was known as the most dangerous apex predator of all time. So yeah, it's, oh my God, I probably have talked about it, but God, it's so good.
That is good. I forget about that. So speaking of things, real quick before we get into the podcast, no,
okay,
no, I just didn't want to forget. So we'll figure out a way to, well, hopefully, and when I say we, I mean Kyle. We'll figure out a way to hopefully put up a picture of sorts. We got
we can't forget
a very awesome package day before yesterday.
Yep.
Now it was sort of kind of, some of it was a birthday present for me because my birthday was this past month, and some of it was kind of like what do you call it? like fan paraphernalia. So I'll say their first names, but good friends of ours and fans, Anna and Steve and Sarah, her sister.
Yes, yeah.
Her sister was a part of it. And Anna and Steve's son, Alec, actually sent you a card too, because he's real big into Bob the Demon.
What you're gonna see on the screen probably right about now is the gift that's actually on the wall back here.
It's down here in the man cave.
And then also I'll make sure to take a video of the card as well. That way they can see it on here too. But because when you opened it up, I mean, at first I really didn't know what was up because I didn't know what was yours, what wasn't, as far as like the card was concerned. But
I got really cool. They got me really cool like movie socks. I'm actually wearing a pair right now. It's my Jaws ones.
Yeah.
There was
they look really, really cool.
They are really cool. And then they also made like a birthday card for me where it had like a scratch off like joke where I had to like scratch off the black crayon and stuff. It was
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So.
And then their son made you that card, and he had like, it was kind of like a Find Waldo where you had to find the one like Bob the Demon. He had little antennas.
Yeah, because what's really funny too is that I mean, Bob the Demon has pretty much been non-existent on this channel for a while, but there's still people out there that are like, dude, we love it. Like I get messages about people like about that. So like the fact that he still enjoys it, and that it's like it was in a card, for crying out loud. Like I'm never getting rid of it. Like that's so cool. So
it was really cool. But then, so what Kyle was getting at, there was these, I don't know how big, like probably 8x8.
Yeah.
Like 8x8 canvases painted canvases, and it's got Jason, Freddy's hand, a chainsaw, a machete, an axe, and then like a just regular like I don't know what you call it, like boot knife or something.
Bowie knife or
yeah. And it took, so here's what happened. Okay. We get it out, and he's putting it up today. We had the day off. I had my daughter today. We were all just hanging out in the man cave, and he puts it up, and we were like, oh yeah, we'll put Jason's mask first, just because, like, you know, it's cool, like, you know, all this stuff. And then he put, I forget, but it was flip-flop some way, and it took me, I came downstairs, I don't know what, an hour or 2 hours later after dropping her off and stuff, and I just, out of the corner of my eye, was like, man, that looks like it could spell, and I was right, it spells love.
Yeah.
So I rearranged them real quick. It is the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
And
it's awesome. It's, well, because this is very reminiscent of a photo that I have in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Which it was a gift from Christy, which is she did close-ups of her face with her hands, whatever, and spelled love. You know, so it was kind of like very familiar when I saw that, but it's the horror version of that. So it's so interesting, you know. So
that's actually so cool that you had that, and I don't think they saw that. I think that was gone when we showed them the man cave and stuff. That picture. Well, so the irony that it went that. Yeah, she like replaced it.
Well, because and the reason why I removed my wife's picture from the wall was because the bass from the sound bar was so intense on there that it was like just the way that it would sit against the wall, like it legit sounded like a snare drum that was broken.
Yep.
So I found a different place for it down here, which, I mean, I've got more photos of her that's going to come down here too, and it's going to be really artsy and stuff like that. You
moved that one. It wasn't like, oh, I don't want it there. You literally, it just was.
I wanted it there. It was awesome. It's one of my favorite collage pictures. But there's general. So,
but there's something there now that it seems to have done okay.
Yeah. I mean, we've been watching different videos down here. I mean, I haven't kicked in any McGordon, so we'll see how it handles after that. But no, it's seriously, Anna, Steve, Sarah, thank you so much. That's super cool.
Yeah, so. It's really awesome, guys. So, but yeah. All right.
Today,
let's do this. I'm going to tell you guys right now. This isn't, I don't know. I was iffy about doing this. This is not really, like, when he told me squids, I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So
it's the giant squid.
Yeah, squid.
It's big squid.
Dude, I love calamari. So, like, this is not going to, you know what I mean? That's why I was like, so if I seem like I'm not like enthused here at the beginning, it's because I'm kind of not this, not going to lie. I feel like it's going to be kind of dumb.
Okay. I have the perfect way to start this off. It's totally going to grip you, and you're going to be like, let's talk about squids. Okay. So there was this picture that I saw a few days ago. There was this picture I saw a few days ago, and I've seen it periodically, and I've kind of been like, oh, whatever. Like, I really haven't, given it much thought. However, it is a picture of a whale that's kind of slightly protruding out of the water, almost kind of like it's breaching, it's like laying flat. And there's this tentacle that is humongous and like comes to a point and is flopping over it, and it's like, it looks like a monster. It looks crazy. The caption to this photo said this, and this is basically the crux of what it's talking about, is that it said, have you ever wondered why sailors and, men and women of the past have talked about sea monsters? About things that they couldn't explain, or something that they maybe caught out of the corner of their eye, or something that they saw really quickly. May we introduce to you the whale's penis. Apparently, when whales breach,
yeah.
they basically pull a dog thing and their red rocket comes out.
That's right.
And the tentacle looks like it's a monster, essentially.
That's right. I do remember reading that like last year or something. Okay.
So just in the funniness of that, and just thinking about that, where it's like, it's a squid. Are you sure it's not a whale's dick? Are you really sure? So, which I'm completely.
Are we gonna play that game? Is it a squid or a whale dick?
No, unfortunately, I was not that prepared. But
damn it.
no, but just have that.
Not interested.
Have that in the back of your mind. But I think that this is going to be something that's going to be a lot of fun, because think about this. Squids are terrifying. Squids are huge. Squids are ancient. They are.
See, I don't.
Well, think about this. Do you know about the ginormous squid that was found? That when they finally processed the DNA, they realized it was a baby.
I mean,
that's
okay,
intense.
But I mean, okay, that's intense. But do you really find squids to be that like terrifying and
giant squids? Yes.
Why? They're not like normally very like vicious animals.
No. It's the idea behind it.
They kind of remind me, and I'm serious, and I've always kind of thought this. There's a couple different ones that remind me of this, but they're kind of like the sea's stoner, just like, what's up?
They're just floating by.
Yeah. What's up, man? Just gonna go by the jellyfish. They're having a party.
Did you know that the turtle from Finding Nemo, the reason why
fried?
Yeah. Do you know why they made him fried?
Why?
Because this is about to blow your mind. Okay.
Let us see what Squirt does.
So, yeah, right. It's like he's trying to speak to me. I know it. No, so apparently that type of turtle, when it eats, I believe it is jellyfish, it actually makes them drunk. It gives them side effects that they're drunk. So what they did was that they basically made him into a surfer dude. Like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually why they threw that in there. But
yeah. Do you know that there's like I think we talked about this. There's a certain like puffer fish that dolphins and like whales and stuff get like high off of. They've stated it's kind of, they said it's almost like the effects of like marijuana and like cocaine.
Wow. That's crazy.
To like humans. I don't know how you find that out, and you'll see them like in the sea bouncing back and forth to like other other whales and dolphins to like fuck them up too.
Wow. Yeah. Which, from what I have heard, is that dolphins actually are like very not vicious animals, but it's like they protect humans from sharks. Like they like have like they can be very dangerous to other animals. Like
they definitely can be. From what I understand, they're pretty aggressive, but not really. They're not towards humans because they're kind of in a sense like us. They have one of the most advanced brains.
I mean, when you have the ability to shut off half your brain to keep the other half awake to look for enemies, like dude, like that's
impressive.
That's pretty cool. Like I
fucks with it. All right.
Here's some things I don't fucks with, but this is the
squids.
The 20 freaky facts about the giant squid. Okay. So this one's just kind of get us a little wet, if you will, in the waters of such a thing. So. Number one, and this is off of Mental Floss. Again, in the description below, you can find the article if you want to follow along, or if you're interested and want to see the credibility, all that stuff, you can check it out. Number one, the giant squid eyes are the size of Frisbees. A staggering 10.5 inches across, a squid's eyeballs lack the jelly-like substance that gives ours their shape. Instead, they're filled with water, which leaks out once the invertebrate dies. The eyes collapse. It's like a collapsed plastic bag. Biologist Dan Eric Nilsson told NPR in 2012. So they have eyes the size of Frisbees.
See, to me, like I figured they'd be bigger. If you're talking about this giant fucking squid, they're only the size of a Frisbee. Frisbee's not that big. I don't know. I guess it's maybe just because I'm not really afraid of like the sea and like the water. Honestly, squids just don't. I mean, I know they can maybe be territorial or like a little vicious, but I don't know. They're just not that terrifying to me.
The argument I would make is this, is that look at the biggest shark that's ever been like found, or think about like a great white shark.
Okay.
Their eyes are really only about this big, and that's attached to, a monster of
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Eater. So the fact that this, like, I look at it this way, is that you have something that its eyes alone, it's bigger than your hand. So it's like you look at the idea of the anatomy of the eye, and then the idea of it of the rest of it is how big is the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it's to me, like, I would look at that even like an elephant. An elephant is huge. Its eyes aren't that big. It's like the squid, however, has really big ass eyes.
It's also in the sea. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Here's another question. So if whales and people whale dicks and they think it's squids, what happens when a squid surfaces and its dick's in the air? Do they think it's another squid?
There may be a dick fact about the squids on here. It's possible. It's possible. Number 2, this is just kind of a general statement about them, but female giant squid are bigger than males, which that's not a very off thing from the animal kingdom.
Yeah, I would say 50-50. If there's half the time it's like the female gets bigger than the male, in any type of animal. Or
I think that what comes to my mind is like tarantulas or like like bugs or whatever. It's like usually the females are much bigger than what you would expect with that.
Same with like Great Danes and stuff. The females are bigger, like dogs. Yeah,
which is funny because Willow is so much smaller than Thor. So it's
she's a pocket. Though.
She is a pocket.
Yeah,
but just in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of funny. Next up.
Oh man, sorry. Look behind you. Oh, that was a good shot. Sorry,
we are actually tonight. The channel that's featured is Soothing Relaxation. This is something I've used to sleep before. The hertz that's used is very, very good for that. As well as there's the space white noise and different stuff like that. So this is one of my favorite ones to throw on. It's 3 hours. It's got some beautiful scenery in it. As you just saw, it's wonderful.
Yeah, that was just man, that was I just caught it. Sorry.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into the kind of the screwed up side of squids.
All right.
So mind you, this is not me to demonize squids, but this is more so the idea of that a giant squid. Kind of like if you were to see a ginormous spider, nobody would think twice about you if you had some negative things to say. So let's just keep that in mind, all right?
I'm just messing with you.
No, I'm protecting myself from the comments because I'm gonna end up being Rhett in this group, like, hey guys, man, giant squids aren't really that bad, man. You're just victimizing them, man. Like, it's just, you don't put them in a box, bro. Like,
don't.
I just did. Nah, especially after this. Number 3, the giant squid suckers can leave ugly battle scars. The giant squid's main enemy is the sperm whale. While under attack, the squid often retaliate by inflicting large circular wounds, courtesy of the serrated rings around each sucker. They have almost like a saw. Kind of
interesting
built kind of sucker. So it's not just this, oh, it's cute, haha, this is like, it's fun. It's like, no, like as in when that thing pops off of your body, it will remove flesh when it does. Like that's the giant squid.
I mean, hey, that's a pretty interesting if you're gonna go with like any type of like sea movie or anything like that could be terrifying to put in there for a minute. Somebody getting smacked in the face with one of them.
No more face. No more. It's just going to be this faceless thing. I should have had a better idea. I don't know. You ever get caught in an analogy you can't finish?
Yeah, all the time.
All right. Number 4. The giant squid's maximum length is about 43 feet. At least that's what the available evidence tells us. Reports of 60 and 70 footers have been verified scientifically.
So again, I'm not saying that isn't big, but haven't they found sharks bigger than that?
They have.
So then the eye thing has nothing to do with it.
What I'm saying is that... what I am saying...
No.
What I am saying is that if something has that big of eyes... no. And actually, in fact, I think the only shark that they found that was bigger than that was in the Mariana Trench.
Doesn't matter.
Or whatever. Like that was supposedly a megalodon, but they have not captured it.
Was its eyes bigger than Frisbee's? No.
I mean,
so
that's size probably. Comment below if you know exactly how big the Megalodon's eyes were. There's probably a fact for that I didn't look up.
I could actually probably look that up right now because
You have a new phone.
I have a new phone real quick just to rub it in. Now, it's not going to be cool because by the time this comes out in like 2 weeks, it's not going to be new.
No, but at this
But check it out. I got a phone that isn't even when this comes out tomorrow. So
yeah.
Suck it.
I guess,
Perks of working at Verizon.
I was going to say the perks of being
real quick, it's just the new Note 20. New Note 20. I went with the Mystic Bronze, even though it's rose gold. Let's fucking call a spade. I wanted it, so it made me feel fancy. So call me weird in the comments. I don't give a shit. No, this phone's really awesome. So I'm not trying to plug it or anything. I love Samsungs, but the phone's great. Like the camera's awesome. So from here on now, after tonight, my side will be recorded on the new Note 20.
As long as it doesn't give us any hiccups, man, it'll be good. It'll be fun.
Why would you say that?
I approach every situation as a realist. So
if shit happens after this direct episode,
it's my fault.
It's his fault.
My fault.
Anyways.
Hey, did you know that a squid does not have a tongue?
Really?
They use what's called a radula, R-A-D-U-L-A. See how I just skimmed right past that? That was beautiful. This organ rests inside their beaks and is covered with 7 rows of denticles, sharp, toothy, backwards pointing protrusions. Denticles. D-E-N-T.
I was like, did you read that right?
Swear to God, it says denticles. That is a real thing. It is basically like teeth on your tongue, but they're sharp, toothy, backwards pointing protrusions. So basically teeth. That's how it says it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I swear to God.
So
it's beak, and that explains how it chews things. So it rips things apart with its tongue.
So I'm trying to find
terrifying. Squids are scary. Have I convinced
I
you
can't.
yet?
No, you haven't, because they don't scare me, dude.
I'm gonna make sure you're scared of squids by the end of this episode.
I'm trying to find. I can't find it right, and I'm not going to sit here and play on my phone the entire night. But I was trying to find the shark thing.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
all right. Number 6. There may be just one known species
of
squid. A genetic analysis in 2013 suggested that the not even going to try to pronounce that scientific name.
Okay.
Is the only species of giant squid is the only species of giant squid as revealed by a comparison of 43 specimens from around the world. The giant squid gene pool seemed abnormally shallow. All 43 subjects were pretty much indistinguishable in this regard. And someone then says, it's completely bizarre, geneticist Thomas Gilbert says. How can something be global but have so little variation? Other researchers, however, argue that there may be as many as 8 species out there. So if there is any differentiation, there's only 8 of them. So think about that, like the different species of dog, grasshoppers, all that.
Yeah.
There's so much diversity, but squid, for whatever reason, the giant squid, there's only one species of it.
See, and that's where, again, I feel like
that's not necessarily scary. That's just cool.
Well, no. Again, I'm not trying to say downplay your thing, but I honestly sit there and think I eat squid. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. So I think maybe that's part of what makes it not scary for me. Mm-hmm. I just sit there and think, what would giant squid taste like?
Honestly, I would actually be okay with. Could you imagine a giant squid burger?
Something a
thick cut of it, it's I would be willing to try.
Yeah, because I mean more so fried. We like the fried calamari, So yeah, that probably would be good.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. It also depends on how old they are too. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have the same mentality as far as sharks are concerned, where it's they can be hundreds of years old, or they just grow, and it's they just keep growing, or they it's insane.
Yeah, that is
the true. Ocean is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, giant squid tentacles can regenerate. One giant squid corpse found in Canada in 1968 had a partially regenerated tentacle. According to a study of the specimen in the Canadian Journal of Zoology, the regenerated club differed in length and width and in the size and the pattern of suckers when compared with the normal tentacle arm. When many cephalopods besides squids are capable of this feature, it includes actually octopuses. Many cephalopods besides squid are capable of this feature, but that includes octopuses or octopi or whatever, however you want to say.
I don't know how you right octopi. I think is right.
So basically, they got the power of lizards. They can regenerate.
Pretty sure
things.
I knew that.
Could you imagine having that freedom, having that ability?
Yeah, but that shit would hurt.
It would hurt, but after the 40th one, hey man, it's all good. I've been here before.
Why do you got to keep cutting your shit off, man?
See, I would be a magician and I would do it and as you can see,
just blood flying everywhere.
Of course, that would be. I mean, it would take time. Like, all right, now we're gonna document me for 4 weeks while this grows. It's a very slow process.
Ta-da!
Oh my god, yeah.
Everybody come back to Madison Square Garden. 4 weeks, it'll be back.
He's like a really shitty regenerative limb David Copperfield. Or something. I fully believe David Copperfield's actually a wizard, but that's just me.
That dude uses this smoke and mirror literally.
Well, of course he does, but I mean, he has to do that
cheap.
for show. So I mean, he's cheap.
He needs to be real, like David Blaine.
You think David Blaine's
No.
real? No. Actually, I think David Blaine is a good illusionist.
He is. He's very good. Chris Angel sucks dick.
I actually enjoyed Chris Angel before he took on the personification of somebody that needed a small dog. And that's not a knock against his orientation. That's more just like, bro, like, why did you have to put up this facade for so many years about being this badass? Why couldn't you have done this to begin with? This is a complete left turn for me. Like,
what is he, gay?
I think so, but like again, like it's I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like no, it's like just own it the whole time.
No,
you know
I
what
just
I'm saying?
meant with
Like,
the fact of how he did his tricks. It was all just paid fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to be like, and then the camera would just go this way.
Oh, that's bull.
Yeah,
It
wasn't real.
Wow,
Like for a lot of it.
I knew that he did figure out how to do some things. Like for instance, like he figured out how to do a transition with fire to get him out of out of a coffin and get his lovely assistant into the coffin in less than 1 second.
Oh,
it was
wow.
so it's like he actually like I don't know if that was his
No,
brainchild
I mean,
or if it was somebody else.
just saying like a lot of that like illusion stuff wasn't real.
No.
Like I don't mean like real, but it wasn't real illusion. It was camera trickery and paid audience. But
because think about this. Like David Blaine has done stuff where he has taken like an ice pick and shoved it through his hand and like has poked it out the other side and has like done stuff. I've heard that he actually has like implants that are in his hands that actually separates blood. That way, he doesn't like make any like he doesn't get any like super.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like it's like he doesn't bleed profusely. So like he has actually designed his body and has the ability or knows how to stab himself to avoid veins.
Fuck!
I've
really put shit through his hands.
I think so. Yeah, it's
no way.
Yeah, but now he misses bone and everything. Like, he doesn't.
I don't
do
give
that,
a
but,
shit
like,
what he does.
Like
that can't. No, no. Anyways, squids. Nah, dude, I refuse to believe that.
So I mean, he spent
dumb motherfucker.
The boy spent like something crazy, like 2 weeks in water. So like, I mean, it's just.
I watched how they faked that.
Was that fake?
From what I remember, it was. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It was that, and then when he was in that block of ice thing, he had people switching out with him.
Oh, that's stupid.
But anyways,
David Blaine. All right, number 8. An estimated 4.3 to 131 million get eaten by sperm whales each year. So the sperm whale really is its biggest nemesis. The squid regularly shows up inside sperm whale stomachs. Approximately 360,000 of these mammals swim the oceans. So if every sperm whale on Earth devoured an average of 1 giant squid per month, that means 4.3 million would be offed annually. But some experts think this figure is way too low. Every single day, male whales put away 300 to 400 squid of various species, while females consume an outrageous 700 to 800 squid. Should this giant squid represent even 1% of their diet, even the whales eat 3.6 million daily. That's 131 million giant squid killed annually.
Jesus, how do the people know how to do that? Whatever,
This is the thing is that, like, when you were talking about the
I blocked all that out and just heard the biggest number at the end. I was like, holy, no, I'm just kidding.
No, so like when you were talking about how do they figure out like how puffer fish or whatever, like, you know, will affect the brain, like how marijuana, cocaine, and everything does that, is that they can actually put them into like, you know, like MRIs essentially, and then study their brains and look at like what different receptors are being activated.
Could you imagine being the guy that gets to go into the hospital and being like, I get to just blow all this cocaine and just sit in this room?
Well, because I mean, honestly, I think that there's been tests done like that because they've shown the brain like
they would have had to.
Well, because it's all dopamine. It's about where it's released in your brain. So it's like the caffeine. Like they've done a caffeine brain. They've shown like after somebody has like an orgasm, the endorphins that release after that. They've also done when someone's hungry, whenever they're tired, like how different the brain like looks, you know, like in different states of like, you know, like how your day goes. Like, I mean, it's insane. So when it comes to animals, like they can study them in the same way, and like it's like, okay, so this releases the same endorphins that gets released when somebody is upset. So it's like, obviously, so now like we know like animals have emotion. So it's like, you know, you can see different things like that. So it's like, it's just, you know, it's just awesome. So let's see. Oh, and number 9, it's not the last one, but number 9, giant squid may have helped give rise to sea serpent legends. In one of Moby Dick's more memorable chapters, a giant squid slithers towards Captain Ahab's whaleboat. Apparently, Herman Melville wasn't a fan. Ishmael describes the squid as a vast pulpy mass, complete with innumerable long arms radiating from its center, curling and twisting like a nest of anacondas. But Melville wasn't alone. Many believe that this predator's writhing snake-like limbs have long inspired sea serpent yarns. So it's the idea that that people thought they were seeing giant sea serpents, but it was actually just squid. These ginormous squids that would, for whatever reason, they would surface at certain moments. So it's like,
see, that's what I mean. Like, people have had to have seen them.
Yeah. It's now think about this too. Imagine that you're a guy that's on, you know, a boat. You're like, you know, a cabin boy, or like, you know, you're, you know, someone that's just there to, you know, take care of the deck, or, you know, something like that. And while you're on the outside washing, or if you're, you know, taking care of a window or something like that, and then some ginormous thing comes underneath of you and you only have a split second to see it. There's no way that you can record it. You can only go off of your memory. It's like that's something that we're very privileged now, to where it's like, if that would have been me now, I would have taken out my phone like, you guys see this shit? Like,
well, I mean, that's what people do,
right?
And that's cool, because then I feel like that's how we are seeing more and more. Like, that's what they had to do. They made special cameras and stuff to go into space, into deep sea, into, you know, foxholes and stuff like that, you know, for that specific purpose. So now, I mean, granted, yes, they have to like surface to a point, but we have that capability at the tip of our fingers. So it's cool to be able to, like, people can document it more, like on their own, like amateurs. And that's how we're seeing more and more like proof of like weird species that have always existed in our lifetime. We just nobody ever saw. And then even when somebody maybe tried to explain it, thought they were lying, or, you know, whatever. And
nature is weird. Could
you imagine like all the people that were called, you know, crazy or whatever all those years ago, and when like photos started surfacing of people like seeing certain things wherever they were, with they're like, see, told you, motherfucker. Like, you know, it could have been 30 years ago.
Well, think about this, is that there is a type of plankton that when it's disrupted in the waves, like whenever the waves carry it in, you know, and like the ocean pushes it, it lights blue. It illuminates blue. So think about this. You're somebody that has never seen that before. The internet's not a thing. I mean, even if we were to push back to something like, I don't know, like the early like 1700s.
Yeah.
And someone were to see that, they would probably look at that and go, oh, like, maybe Poseidon is trying to talk to us. Like there's the presence of something is here. I'm not saying that spirituality is fake. It's
no,
not, but I think that there's been a lot of things that have been misconstrued that it's like, look, this has already been proven that this is a scientific thing. This is something that happens when this algae is disturbed. It's and it's like that's just
it's not spiritual really. So unfortunately,
and it's that whole idea of like looking at the way that cicadas come every however many years.
So it's 7 years or whatever,
and people probably thought that they were being cursed by a plague when it's like no, like it's just if you're caught in the the migration of it, like sorry, like it just is what it
sucks,
is. But, it's just. No, it's like no, God's not angry at you. They're just cicadas. Like this happens every 7 years. So, let's see here. Number 10. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea grossly overestimates the giant squid's usual weight. It says Jules Verne's 1869 masterpiece remains impressive to this day. His novel predicted the invention of both scuba tanks and taser guns, but there are still a few gaffes to be found, particularly during the book's most iconic scene, when the hordes of giant squid attack. A French professor named Pierre Aronnax estimates that each one must weigh between 4,000 and 5,000 pounds. But as far as modern scientists can tell, the heaviest animals weigh around a ton, although most are less than 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
So even then, the fact that there is a gargantuan thing that literally weighs like a ton, it's like, as much as like a little less than a car, or like his cars are like 2 tons or whatever it is.
See, that's what I mean. Like that's why I'm saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not saying that it's not intimidating, but it's not as intimidating as like books and movies and things like make it seem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I think that people that maybe have a fear or a phobia of the water or the ocean or something of that nature, I think sometimes that's where a lot of these like articles or like explanations come from, maybe, and it makes it that much worse, because not that they're embellishing it on purpose, but it freaks them out, so they're going to be on a negative side. That's why I said that does. Now again, I could be out in the middle of the ocean and be face to face with one and be completely freaked out by, I don't know.
Right. But, until you're there. Yeah.
Right. But at the same, and you could be like, oh shit, look at that.
I've actually had that happen before.
So
like with like almost like it was actually with a giant spider. Like it was with a really big spider I saw like in like now this wasn't like 8-legged freaks or whatever, but there was somebody that was deathly afraid, which I am scared of spiders. The second that you introduce hair and it can like make a sound when it hits the ground, I'm out. Like I don't want it. Like house spiders, daddy long legs, whatever. Like I'm always like, hey little guy, come here. It's not that big of a deal. I basically kind of made my bed and lied in it. I was like, all right, I'm here. I can't escape. I'm not antagonizing it. It just is what it is. So some guy was like, what do we do? And I just took a giant leaf that I found and like just put it on it and took it and put it somewhere else, and then after that I had my meltdown. So it's like when the moment calls for it, I probably can keep it together, but the second that it's over, it's like, oh god, get it off me. Spiders
freak me out every once in a while, but yeah, no. So but that's what I mean, like that when somebody has like a negative like thought on it, it could like impact that. So with me, like I said, with me being really like okay with them, that makes it a little different, I feel like, to where reading these things where it's like, oh, I mean, well, yeah, or whatever, but so I don't know. I think it's interesting.
These next two you're not going to be expecting, because I literally was now years old when I learned this.
Okay.
Number 11, like all squids, the giant squid has 3 hearts.
Wow.
A median heart pumps oxygenated blood through the body, which it receives from 2 smaller ones that pump blood through the gills. So it's actually kind of like it supports the way that they breathe and how like they transmit oxygen. 3 hearts.
I did not know that.
Next thing about their anatomy. Giant squid penises are about a yard long. 3 feet.
Damn.
Nobody has ever documented a pair of giant squid getting busy, but biologists suspect that the males use their sex organs like syringes, injecting sperm into a female's skin, where she stores the cells until her eggs need fertilizing. Excuse me. When that happens, the mom-to-be pulls them out of storage, though we're not sure how. So we don't even fully understand how their full even mating process works because we've not even been able to document it. But we know for a fact what their sexual organs are, and we can guess what happens. That's just like, could you imagine that? 3 yards, or what? No, it's a yard long and then 3 feet. 3 feet, a 3-foot dick. That's a big dick.
I'd be okay with that.
Oh my God.
I'd be like,
oh,
here we go.
So this is for everybody at home. I don't know if how well you guys can see this or if it will adjust, but this is also, you can see it too. So there's a squid. It says the first giant squid photo ever shot was taken inside of a bathroom. In 1873, Newfoundland minister Moses Harvey acquired a dead giant squid, which he laid out over his shower and preserved for posterity. He'd purchased the specimen for just $10 from a new local fisherman who'd ensnared it with their nets while out in Logie Bay. I think it's Logy, Logie Bay. But I'm assuming that this has got to be the picture. But so think about that. That is the size of a man. Like that's of like, you know, of a shower where the shower rod is that he draped it over.
That's what I mean. Like,
that's crazy.
That's not that big.
It's scary, man.
That's not that big, man.
That's just one of the sizes of a giant squid. Have you ever seen how big a giant squid can actually get? It's terrifying. 70 feet.
You said it
70.
You said it wasn't 70. You said it was like 30 to 40.
No, 30 to 40 feet, but also scientifically that there has also been ones that have been recorded that there are 70. Oh, shit. Number 14. Oh, God. This Lost in Space comes into my mind, which is, ew, they eat their wounded. Number 14. The giant squid might be cannibals. Bits and pieces of one of the giant squid showed up in a live giant squid's stomach, but this doesn't necessarily prove that giant squid dine on one another. Some scientists speculate that the squid may have accidentally swallowed a few parts of itself somehow. I think it's more possible.
How the fuck do you do that?
I've never once in my life gone, oops.
Whoops. There was some of my tongue.
Now we've all bitten our tongue.
Yeah, but not like to have chunks in our fucking system.
Never once. Never. It's not even crossed my mind until now. Didn't even know that was even a thing. So, like, I've heard of people swallowing their own tongue, but like that's not like.
I don't even know how you do that.
Apparently, it's possible. I mean, I suppose that if you never find out, I guess it's good. So, number 15. The Smithsonian has 2 giant squid on display. You can see them in the National Museum of Natural History's Sant Ocean Hall. The pair represent both sexes. And then there's a thing that has a link to a video where it actually shows like everything. But so they actually do have some giant squid that are actually out and about that you can see like at a museum. And it's like, oh, look at this. It's,
right.
It's huge and scary. And oh my God. Number 16. Their brains are donut shaped. I'm telling you, squids are fucking aliens. I've been saying this for years.
Weird.
They are not of this planet. That is why there is only one species of giant squid. They are here to take over, and they have not figured out how to go on land. They are too dependent on water. They're from a water planet that's probably called Squiddom or something to that effect.
Well, clearly they're idiots if they get eaten by sperm whales all the time.
The sperm whale was an enemy that they were not prepared for. That's what put them as a normal.
They've been on this planet for like a few decades.
Yes, they have. Well, a few decades, a few billion decades, or trillion decades. However, that would add up. No, but think about this. This is another one of my crazy theories. Okay. Think about this for a second. Just stay with me. Squids land here. Okay, however many billions of years ago, they land in the water through these like pods or whatever that protect them and like from the atmosphere because they've experienced atmospheres in other places and their bodies got burned up and they don't want to deal with that. They're like, no, man, like we figured out how to protect ourselves. We're good. It's like squid condoms. It's perfect. So they go through the atmosphere and they hit the water.
Because they're getting fucked?
Yeah. By the atmosphere, yes, if they don't. So protection. So what happens is that they hit the water and they realize this is not a planet completely covered in water. How they missed that, I don't know. But they realize that there's land. And on the way of them starting their colony, some big-ass sperm whale shows up and goes, lunch, and starts eating them. And only a few got away. And they realize now they have no way to contact their superiors. They are now stuck here. And they just kind of made the best of it. They are now a part of our ecosystem. The sperm whale has had a more precise diet ever since.
You think we eat aliens?
I think that squids are aliens. I'm sorry. They are such an off-the-wall beaten path of evolution that it makes no sense. Like, it is ridiculous. They are not of this planet. If not my dramatic thing, I think that there's another way they could have been maybe introduced into the planet, but that's just me. So maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe there's more.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they have a donut-shaped brain, Eric, and 3 hearts. Okay, that is not normal.
Well, no, it's not normal, but I mean, not normal to us.
Okay, it's okay. I can look at a cow and see that it has 4 stomachs and be completely okay with that and go, oh, okay, proceed. Like, there's no issue with that.
Can you imagine what the giant squid sitting there right now going, those humans only have 1 heart. Lames.
He was born with 1 heart.
Is he sick? I bet he only has small lungs.
Oh my God. Someone told me he only has a 12-foot dick. Something like that. So, a 3. Oh my God.
When you go giant squid, you never go octopus again.
I said he only had a 12-foot dick. What I meant to say was he only had a 12-inch dick. And that, yeah, because it's like 12 inches is like, whoa, the average vagina can only hold 7. Haha. No, but it's like.
Congratulations on your 4 inches of dry dick, motherfucker.
Oh, this episode's totally going to get limited ads. I love it. Okay.
No way.
Oh, totally. It will. YouTube has been a character lately. Okay.
That'll be fine.
But that's not the weird part about them having donut-shaped brains. What's truly bizarre, at least from our mammal-centric perspective, is the fact that its esophagus passes through the hole in the middle of its brain. Giant squids have to be really careful while swallowing because if a given meal isn't broken down into small pieces first, it can rub against the brain and cause damage. That is, oh God, could you imagine that? Like, you wouldn't be able to like eat chips or anything like that, or anything that's sharp. It's like, it's like, what if you don't chew it properly?
So when you do get that one chip that's like stabs in the back of your throat and you swear it's hitting you in the brain and the esophagus, it really is for the giant squid.
That's what was it? They portrayed a guy getting his brain chipped off on film, right? And all he could say was, "I have a demon in my brain." I was hungry, so I ate a baby. It was a baby person. I made of boats. Yeah. Oh yeah. It went way out there. And as he was really, really terrified, he looked at Josh and went, "I am so very scared, Joshy."
As a what?
It was the guy that was looking at Josh. He had his brain chipped off because a guy put a bomb in his brain. So he looked at Josh, and all he could say was, "I am very scared, Mr. Joshy," or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So, I'm so very scared, Joshy. So
those guys get pretty creative.
Oh, it's great.
They do.
Oh my God. Number 17. Before 2004, nobody had ever snapped any pictures of a live one. History was made by residents of the Ogasawara Islands, located 600 miles south of Japan. There was no way I was going to pronounce that. On September 30th, 2004, using a line baited with shrimp, zoologist Tsunemi Kubadara and whale watcher Kyocha Mori attracted a giant squid about 2,950 feet beneath their vessel. 500 still images were then snapped by a submerged camera before the squid took off, leaving behind an 18-foot severed tentacle, which we know grows back, so it didn't matter.
Right.
Holy shit. So before 2004, it was just speculated and or had not been properly documented.
That's what I'm saying is like now that, everybody has like phones and, hell, even just like DSLR cameras and stuff, even back then.
Yeah.
People had more access to like document stuff. So that's kind of crazy.
The first giant squid video didn't arrive until 2006. Kubadara would top himself that year when his crew videotaped a young female as they dragged her up to the surface. And to which he says, "We believe this is the first time anyone has successfully filmed a giant squid that was alive. Now that we know where to find them, we think we can be more successful at studying them in the future. Sadly, Kumadora's prize died during the ordeal, so they unfortunately didn't get a live one to bring in to see how it behaved and everything like that." So,
do you like, not to veer off too much here, but
I'll go for it.
Do you agree with like scientists and stuff like that taking like said giant squid to like bring back and kind of, I guess, research?
I understand this is a slippery slope for like people that are very into like Greenpeace and PETA and everything that comes with that. But what I will say is this, probably to give you an idea of how I feel about it, is that the way that they study sharks is that what they do is that they have a sensor and a tracking mark that they will basically pierce into their fin, which ultimately we found out, like, it's like, I don't know if it even causes them even any pain when they do it. Not really. But what they do is that they are able to motion track where they are at, where they go, their behavior, everything to that effect. I believe that is the best way to do that. That way, the only thing that you are doing is putting a man-made object on them that does not even, inhibit what they do.
Right.
Now, when it comes to a squid, it's not that easy to tag them and to do like what you do with with a shark. So I get that, but I try to think of it like this: is that, I mean, like, think about like Thor. Like, he is a dog. It's like he is an animal that we love. It's like I have cuddled with this dog. I have loved. Like, I would absolutely hate the idea that if he was an unidentified species, somebody taking him into a room and studying him. Because they don't understand like what he is or how to like. Yeah,
but they don't. That. I don't mean like kill him, like kill them.
No. Just it's the idea of like I hate it when animals are scared. I hate it when they're like, it's like it's that idea of like that senseless kind of abuse in a way. See, like it's that idea.
To me, it like as a scientific standpoint. Mm-hmm. As long as the intent is not to harm and or kill, I mean, sometimes things do happen, and I understand that. But now again, it wouldn't be my dog, But I'm kind of okay with that. Like, that's how you know things. That's how you, literally, if they take its blood and they do its vitals and all this shit. But like, as long as they are doing what they need to and are able to return it back to its natural habitat, I think it's okay. That's how else are you gonna learn, honestly, about something that you've never seen or done before? Because in some way, shape, or form, that's had to have happened with pretty much any animal, mammal, whatever have you. It's had to have, at least to at some point, to be like, okay, well, what's this?
Well, I mean, there's also something to be said about that catch and release thing, where it's like, we return them to their their proper habitat. But I mean, here's the thing about the ocean. The ocean is so hard to document. We know more about the moon than we know about our own ocean.
Right.
So it's like there's the idea of just the depth, and just the idea of like, can these because squid, I feel like they're more easily capable of going deeper, than probably other animals because of their, gel-like body. So it's like they have the ability.
It's possible, yeah. So I could see that.
I could see complications with them not being able to properly, figure out, okay, well, how do we even do this, like to put, a tracking mark on this thing? Because, it's like sharks don't have access to be able to, get that off of their fin. They just forget it's there and then just do their thing and keep swimming and keep eating.
Right.
Whereas a squid, I feel like if you were to put it on one of its tentacles, what if it gets ripped off? What if it gets cut off? What if it gets damaged? Like, so then also you have to put on the idea of that, what if it gets eaten by a sperm whale? So it's like, because the squid are very, as that is said, it's like they're very much hunted by them.
Right.
For protein. So it's like that I could probably understand, which, it's, I don't know. I try my best to, even if I fear an animal, to not immediately assume that it needs to be hated. It's like fearing something and hating something are two very, very different things. I just won't go in the water. Like I just won't be around it. When you're somebody that hates an animal or hates something, or wants to, inflict harm upon an animal, and things like that, that's to me, that's a different thing.
Right.
So I don't know, like when it comes to that, the whole thought process and debate of like, is it right to take animals out of their habitat? I would say to a degree, no. But in the same hand is that, like, I think that there is also, like, if you have to understand how something works, and if you want to understand the habitat of something, or, like how things need to happen, then if there's no other way to document it, then that's how you have to do it.
That's what I mean. Like, I get it, so I'm not 100% against that,
Right.
Just as long as no harm was intended to be, like I said, I understand things do happen, accidents or, so, well, okay. So how many of these we got left?
We're on the last two.
Oh.
So yeah, so we'll be finishing up a little bit early
right.
tonight, but nothing too crazy. So I mean, we may go on a tangent about, I don't know, bikes. I mean, who knows? So so that's the first thing that came to my mind. Okay, number 19. Jellyfish help the giant squid hunt. They say the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Certain jellyfish are bioluminescent, which means that they can light themselves up and illuminate the ocean's inky depths. Predators like giant squid eat many of the fish that hunt jellyfish. So if a bioluminescent jelly finds itself under attack, it can issue a cry for help by flashing a distress signal, in the hopes that it might attract an even larger carnivore and scare off its assailant. That was the theory behind the luring. I can't read tonight. That was the theory behind luring the giant squid with an electronic jellyfish, as seen in the recent NOAA video. So they actually tested it, and it must have worked. So that's nature is just so fascinating, like how that works. Where it's like we always think to ourselves, like, "Ooh, shiny." It's like no, like that's actually like a unanimous thing. Like you shine anything or a light, like it's like something will come near it. All right. Number 20.
That is kind of cool.
It's badass, man. It's badass. Nature's cool.
It is.
Squids are scary.
Speaking of nature, look at that.
That is the epitome of where I want to be right now.
Right. There it is. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was like, man, that's beautiful.
Man, actually one of my favorite things that we ever got to do, and I really wish I could have been older to appreciate it, was when we went to Canada. And, and we got to be out on the boat, and Eric can tell me if I'm hard selling this or if I'm soft selling this or what, about the whole over dramaticness of it. But being in Canada, out at this cabin that we stayed at, I'm not going to disclose the reason as to why we were there because it kind of turned into a shit show. But
it was more of like an island cottage.
Yeah, yes. The family that we knew at that time owned the island, owned the cottage. So like we had full permission to be there. It was super, super cool.
You had to take an actual boat or something to get to it.
Yes. And I remember there was one night in particular, we were on the front porch, and I don't remember if everyone was out there or not. I may have been by myself. I may have had maybe some of our cousins with us or like something to that effect, but I remember just looking up and I saw something that was kind of faint, but it was still pretty present. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It looks like a smaller like moon. I'd never seen it before. Come to find out, it was Mars.
Oh.
When you were at the point of where we were in Canada, it's at a different position on the planet. Like that's a drastic place to go to compared to where we were in, like in the United States at that point. It was so wild. It was the fact like it kind of put the whole like solar system into perspective for me when I looked at it and I went like, I know it sounds dumb, but I looked at it and I'm like, Mars is real. I can see it. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only ever heard about it.
I know what you mean. I get it.
But yeah, that was it was wild. So like nature, like that was one like, and also too the when all the lights were off, you couldn't even come close to understanding how many stars are in the sky. Like when you would look up, especially with the lake that surrounded us, because there was a good distance between, there was some land masses, so it's like there was a lot of water coverage. You could see, how the stars reflected.
Yeah,
it would become like glass.
It actually kind of looked like that, where like the reflection was. There's a picture we have of the actual place that we stayed, and out on the boat, and we waited. I'm pretty sure Mom took it or something, but waited for like the ripples to go away. And if you flip the picture, you really can't tell which way is right.
The only way that you'd be able to tell is if the corner of the boat was in like the bottom, like left hand, side or something like that. Like if you excluded that, there's no way to tell.
I mean, you can tell, but you really can't. It's one of those like you can't. But anyways, all right, last one.
Last one. Number 20. It's not the only monster-sized squid out there. Meet my lord. I'm going to commit. This is the scientific name of this other giant squid. Mesenachidonocatuthus hamiltoni. Totally butchered that. Better known as the colossal squid. Though the giant squid, the scientific name, probably exceeds its lengthwise, this other one is heavier on average and has even bigger eyeballs and wields swiveling hooks on its tentacles. This isn't a creature you'd want to mess with.
I'll give it a high five.
His body ripped into threes right there. Just, hey, high five. Just over. It's. I think that at the end of the day, like nature is impressive. It's something that like when you see, like, I mean, people always talk about like Mother Earth and like everything like that. It's like, the idea of like how awesome it is to see just nature just show off.
Yeah.
And it's so like, I feel like, while I mean, I still this idea that I'm afraid of giant squid, which I am, there's still this idea of that. It's just like, dude, like that's what nature was capable of.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was, whether it was created, evolved, like however you want to think about how it was put here, we can still study it and see how amazing it is.
And see, that's what I'm saying is studying it and, if being able to quote unquote catch it, capture it, that's how we study. That's how we get, and that's why, I mean, as long as it's done right, I think it's okay, because Mother Nature and nature is crazy. Mm-hmm. Like it is fucking crazy. It's just, especially in Ohio. I know we say that a lot. It is the literal truth. Mother Nature here is nuts. So not so much just nature, but Mother Nature in general. Yeah. Hold on. We're gonna do something real quick, just because I thought about this.
Yeah.
Since I've got two phones at the time being, we're gonna record us recording to Steve and Anna.
Oh, right? Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
So
we'll get Piper all positioned here, so that way she's.
What's going on, guys? We're actually recording right now, so you're kind of like on the podcast.
Hello there. Yeah, I got a cat on my lap. I feel like a villain. It's awesome.
So yeah, we're just recording. That was just a little bit of fun right there. I just now thought about that.
Yeah, but I love that. Well, because I mean, it's being able to get people involved is what I love about this is that it's like, granted, yes, Anna and Steve are friends of yours, but they're like we have something of theirs that like that was was at their house. It is now here. She made it. Like that's. I love that. I love fun stuff like that. I love, testing out, the whole podcast thing and seeing like how far it stretches and how people enjoy it. Like, I mean, like, whether or not it was the depression podcast or if it was, the villains podcast or anything like that, like what resonates with people.
Yeah.
So like I said, if there's only 3 people that ever get affected in a good way by what we do, then that's, 3 people before that, we didn't have. And I think that, yeah, regardless of anything, this is this is fun. We got fan mail, even though they're right. Friends, but that doesn't matter. She took time out of her day, to do that, and then
got me cool socks.
Yeah, it's
And you know what she said, that because Steve and I actually are a day apart, but a year apart as far as birthday.
Oh wow, okay.
And she got him. I guess he's. I swear she said he's real big on anime. So she got him like the anime version of the socks, because it had like some characters or whatever that he really
so like
dig
Naruto
on.
and like Dragon Ball Z and like different stuff like that. So
probably, and
probably
I guess he
with that, but
I guess he warmed up, I believe, work or something like that, and like came home and was like bummed because not one person said anything about his socks. And I was like, dude, I'm kind of the same way. She's like, and it was like, I'm the same. Like I will like walk in front of you like numerous times to like make sure you see, I was like, I'm the same way. And to be completely honest with you, because so funny, she got me those like movie sock things 2 or 3 days prior, just because I was like, fuck it, I do need more socks. I was out. I got the Office version of the socks. It was the same brand, like same everything.
Yeah.
I got them like 3 or 4 days prior, and that's when I was like, screw it. I was like, it is my birthday. I was like, I do need socks, and these are cool. And I wore most of them to work, and then I wore my DeLorean ones and my Jaws ones, and not one motherfucker said anything about my socks. Either set, coworker or customer yet.
That's so weird. See, I love striking up conversations with people like in public whenever I see stuff like that I recognize.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
That's actually one of the reasons why. Well, that's we'll get into why I eventually changed it. But for the longest time on my phone, my text ringtone was the clickers from The Last of Us. It was that it was like maybe
I do remember that.
It was like a 10-second clip of them like just I'm not gonna try to do it, but what was funny was that the reason why I got rid of it was because the one night that Chrissy and I were sleeping, I forgot to put my phone on mute or vibrate, and mind you, our sleeping arrangement at that point was we slept in a pitch black room. Like it was completely, it was like there was no night light. There was no like light protruding from like a street. Like it was a dark room. That thing went off at like 2:00 in the morning.
And you're like, what the fuck?
My first thought was, I got to get an arrow. Like it was, I got to get a shotgun shell. I'm like, where's Ellie? Like, and it woke, obviously, like, it woke me up. I was terrified. It woke her up, and she just looked at me. She went, change your ringtone now. I'm like, duly noted. Because it was just like, because it was cool during the day, because like I would actually get people, like if I would be at Walmart, I would hear that thing go off, and then they would like, I would know fans were around me, because it was like, dude, that's the clicker. That's crazy. Like, so I love it when somebody wears something, or, they have like a ringtone, or like, whether or not it's like a decal on their car. Like you can learn a lot about people depending on what they have, like on their, like, cause like even like with your like hoodie, like that's, obviously I'm representing Chrissy again. She got that free for your birthday.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You would never have to bring it up in a conversation for someone to know that you love the Joker. It's
definitely.
It's cool little things like that, where it's like, even I've seen people wear like Firefly pendants, so it's like, they have that, from obviously the Last of Us thing, but even like down here, like, the different, stuff that's hung up. It's like,
it's how you're right. That's how people like, kind of communicate with each other.
Yeah. Express yourself.
Right. And that's what's cool. Man, we got way off topic with squids all the way to like clickers and Joker and
yeah, man, I love it.
But no, that was really, that's what it was, because I was doing a little video for him. But no, that was a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be. To be honest with you,
Mental Floss delivers, man. This is like the second or third time we've had them on the show. As far as like a article.
I just, like I said, squids, octopus, all that stuff. They don't scare me. So like they're kind of like,
fascinated.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess I could be fascinated by it, 'cause like I am, but I don't know. It was more a little more interesting than I thought it would be, but I was just like 20 facts about squids, like.
Well, the good news is that next week we are going back to our roots of what makes our conversations actually like the normal thing, like what we usually talk about, which is movies. We're going to be talking about 40 facts about movies next week. It's going to be no, we're not going to go through all 40. We may, like, depending on how short they are, but
I vote that like halfway through September, maybe the last week, but at least all of October needs to be all like horror.
Without a doubt.
Like monster theme or something like that.
We'll do like a Scare-tober or something like that.
Yeah. Like I need this. Like this is, and it's gonna suck, man. Like if we don't get to do stuff for Halloween, but this is like what I love, and that's why I no pun intended, but that's why I love the sign. Like that was that's so cool, and that really like kind of speaks volumes for both of us, because that's stuff that we get into. That's the culture that we like, and she paid attention.
Yeah.
She definitely, they
all of them rather. Yeah.
They listen and, pay attention. So it is greatly appreciated. We will definitely get to where you guys, like I said, you can see what it is we're talking about, all of the stuff that was sent, because it was really awesome. They spent, time on that, and, a major effort. So, but, all right, I could babble on and on about that just because it was so cool. But
yeah, I think this was a fun little episode. Thank you for giving me the time to be able to talk about something that's scary and to me anyway, and can be fascinating for you. So, but once again, if you guys have enjoyed what you've been seeing with this, and if you enjoy what you've been listening to, make sure you guys follow us on Spotify and or hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you never miss an upload. And until next time, Eric, what do you have to say?
Butt cheeks.
Balls and wieners.